Hey y'all, how's it going? And happy Sunday night. Did y'all see Sister Wives? Sister Wives. I'm sorry. Did you guys get ready? What was your Sunday night show? I missed last week, Sister Wives, so I didn't know if it was a part 3. But I'm going to check. That should be my Sunday night go-to. Hey, Carefree, Real Magnolia. Let's get this party started. Now, this is about the Netflix, which you guys, Netflix is getting really expensive. Y'all, they gonna have to just mail me the DVD like they used to back in the day. Okay, they are getting terribly expensive. And excuse me, guys, I'm in a different area. I'm gonna try to put the mic so you guys can hear me. But this is heavy spoilers. We're going to talk about this. So if you have not seen this movie, go ahead and click out. It's Tyler Perry's Straw. And before we get started, this movie is about struggle. And I know a lot of people had a lot of commentary about how they're tired of Tyler Perry pandering to the Black woman's struggle. And you guys let me know how you feel about this, okay? So yeah, let's talk about it. Before we get started, I wanted to just, because we are talking about struggle, I am someone that does gig work. And one of the things that I found helpful in my gig work was having a separate bank account. Now, I consider YouTube a part of my income, my monthly income. So I call it gig work, and I signed up with SoFi. So I did leave my code in the chat. If you sign up with SoFi, and I learned that from Graham Stephens and Caleb. I really like him. I think it's Caleb Snelling. I think that's who it is. Caleb. He gets mad at people who doesn't do the right budget. I signed up through SoFi through them, and what I learned was I put my money to the side, separate from my other bank account, and I could actually see how much I make when I sell things on eBay, or how much I make when I DoorDash, or how much I make when I'm doing YouTube. So that goes to my SoFi account. If you guys are so kind to Zelle me, it goes to my SoFi account. So at the end of the month, when it's time, or the first of the month, when it's time to pay my bills, I go to my SoFi account and can see, is it even worth me doing anything? Now, if you join SoFi, you get a bonus. If you set up direct deposit, you get $300. But if you start a checking account with my code, you get an extra $20. When you fund it, you get an extra $50. So that's $70 just for signing up. Also on SoFi, they give you like discounts on travel. You get insurance play. Also, student loan or new loan. If you have a kid going into college, they have loan financing. So I just want to put that out there. So my code is in the chat. If you are interested, there it is. So thank you. I'm sorry, you get 25 when you open an account, and then you get an extra when you fund it. So thank you so much, you guys. I know I don't usually say that, but I think that's pretty cool that SoFi is a separate account, and it has a lot of perks, guys. A lot of perks. Okay. So you guys know I don't usually talk about nothing, but I thought that was fitting to go into this story. Hey, blessings. Hello, Keithis. Red box. We had a red box here in Dalton up until like the end of last year. Yeah, we did at the Walgreens. Hey, blessings. First time in your chat, I'm always in the bushes. The movie struck some of my triggers. I agree. And I would love to talk to you guys about it because I was listening to different perspectives, and I just was like, wow, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So heavy spoilers. If you haven't watched it and you're planning to, go ahead and click out and come back to this video later. So you're going to get it from two different perspectives. Number one, I work in the film industry, if you guys didn't know. So I work in the film industry, and I work independent films, I did work on a lot. I was a celebrity. I worked in celebrity films a lot. Independent, I'll say stylist. I definitely was, but celebrity styling was not for me. I love regular people. Not to say celebrities are not regular people, but it just was not where my passion was. I don't mind. I do it once in a while. If someone calls me, I'll do it. But my passion was not with the Hollywood celebrity thing. My passion is films. So I'm going to talk about Straw. First, we're going to talk about the whole premise and the storyline and our experiences. And then we're going to talk about how Taraji filmed in 4 days. And I hear a lot of people saying, Taraji, the whole movie was filmed in 4 days. Like, oh my gosh, love Tyler Perry, really do. Uh, dream to work with Tyler Perry for sure. I think his styling team does a good job, so that's great. But uh, what was that movie? Deliver Us? No, it wasn't Deliver. What was the movie where the man was like ashtray B? What was that movie? It was such a good movie. I forgot. If you guys know it, put in a comment. The movie, the script was good, but the wigs and stuff took away from the storyline. I forgot the name of that movie. Deliver Us from That's what it was. I thought it was wrong. Thank you. Um, thank you, blessings. In 4 days, she was spectacular. Spectacular. Hey, Miss Asia, how are you? Yeah, let's invite you guys. You guys, we're gonna go ahead and talk about it and send a love to you, Magnolia. I had that in my little box. We love you over here. If you guys have something to say, we keep it respectful over here. If you want to share stories, I was watching. It's this guy, just my opinion. I love his channel. He does video reviews, and it's my favorite. Oh, it's another young lady. She's my favorite person to watch. She does watch alongs. Why can't I remember her name right now? I told you guys to follow her. She's very soft spoken. I have to get back and get her name. I was like, please follow her because she's great. But okay, go back to just my opinion. We're gonna talk about the movie, but he was like, don't nothing like that happen to somebody in 1 day. And I'm like, yes, it does. Yes, it can. Where I live, I see things happen to people, hit them back to back to back. I'm gonna bring up Blessing and see if she has something to say. Hey, Gardis,
Hey
welcome
girl,
to the
I
show.
can't see me. Am
We
I?
we see you. We see you. How are you? Oh,
Oh,
we
you
didn't.
guys
Let me.
do?
We don't see you yet. I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna put it up. I had Taraji up there. Let's go ahead and bring you to the forefront. How are you today?
Hey, girly girl, I'm fine. I'm
Hey.
always in your bushes, and I do listen to you, and I do hit the like button just to let you know. It's been a long, like I've been in your bushes for a long time,
Look,
and
stay in the
I
bushes. I get it.
Yeah, I just be wanting to just see what other people, because I don't believe in just sticking with one corner. I like
Hmm.
to see what other people are talking about. That's how you learn, that's how you grow.
Yeah.
Um, but this movie, it made me very emotional.
Hmm.
Because as a single mother, I remember those days. I remember when Oh God, I can get emotional, girl. Let me stop. Oof. Lord Jesus.
It's okay. Been
I
there.
remember when my oldest son and I'm sorry if I break down, I'm a crybaby. Y'all, I'm just a crybaby. I'm strong though. I'm a strong girl. I'm a
We
strong
supporting you.
girl.
We here to
I'm
support.
a crybaby too. I remember when my oldest son's father and I broke up and I had to carry the weight. He did pay his child support, but I had to deal with everything else that came after that. And when you are when you have a hard rock, What is it? A hard walk, a hard place, or you between a hard rock and hard place? The only thing you could do is just fall to your knees and pray. That's it. And it was days in. I mean, I was at church every Sunday, every Wednesday, Bible study on Thursdays, because I needed a place of I need to believe that stuff was gonna work out for us. You know what I'm saying? I had a good job. I was an account executive. Well, I was one of those account openers. You know, when you go into the bank, when we used to go into the bank, and the people on the other side across from the tellers, I used to do that. So I was making decent money, but sometimes it was rough. It was rough. And your bosses don't understand. They act as though they don't understand what you're going through, even though they've been through it. But most of them got husbands. They may not be good husbands, but they got an extra income, because love is not enough. You need financial assistance, you know. And I didn't qualify for government assistance because I worked. And I just felt her loneliness. I felt that she didn't feel heard. I felt all her emotions. You don't want to always go to your friends and ask them for help because of your pride. Well, that's me. This I'm speaking about me, you guys. So I'm not putting this on nobody. You don't always want to go because of your pride. And when your parents are not made of money, you you kind of realize that as you get older. They got to hold a household of their own. And so anything I could do is depend on work and my child support. And that was it. But I had to get us out of the environment we were in. It's not that we were in a very bad environment. It's just that we had a one-bedroom apartment and my oldest son was getting older. So it was time for us to move. My credit was shot. I rebuilt that. I prayed on that. And my credit, my friend, she moved into this townhouse. She said they got one for sale. You may want to go ahead and buy it. And I end up qualifying to buy it. Surprisingly. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a blessing because at the end of the day, y'all, I'm just going to say this and I'm going to drop because I want you to continue with your commentary and somebody else may want to come up. But this movie was relatable. It was
Mm-hmm.
very relatable
Mm-hmm.
to a
Uh,
lot of us.
oh yeah. How did you deal with? And feel free. And how did you deal with having to come up with the extras? If you saw in this movie, that's something. The extra $40. How did you deal with that with your son? Like, can you remember that feeling? I know I do. When something just pop up and they need the extra money and that's not in your budget.
How do you deal with coming up with gas money to get to work? You see where I'm coming from? How do you deal with having your child, your young child, and they got to go to school and you got to get to work and you don't have gas money? I'm talking real life, real freaking fracking life. My son is 29 years old now. Well, we've been through it. He grew up with me. I was 21 when I had him.
Mm.
So he grew up with me. My youngest son, he don't know nothing about this.
Mm.
But I sold my townhouse so I can move into a home so my youngest son can have his own bedroom. I had to take baby steps though.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take baby steps. I bought my first Louis Vuitton purse. I mean, not Louis Vuitton. What is it called? Goodness. Like, yeah, Louis Vuitton purse at the age of 25. That was my reward from
Okay.
everything I've done for myself. That was the only thing I had bought for myself in a long, long, long time.
Mm. So
You see where I'm coming from?
yeah, yeah, I have one. I've been there. Um, I have a child and that grew up with me as well. Well, what do you say to people that say all this bad luck couldn't happen to one person?
No, 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 no. Life is full of good luck and bad luck. If you read the Bible say you gonna go, there's gonna be a time for you to laugh, to cry, and I forgot the other ones, to be sad and to be happy. Sometimes you got to sit down. Everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a turn. Life is like a merry-go-round. Everybody gets a turn. And what I say to this is what I say to my kids. You don't worry about what other people going through. Don't envy other people. Don't look at their situations because you don't know what happens when they behind doors. I just built a village around us that trust me and are loyal to us. You know, they see my hard work, but it took a lot of crying. Do you understand me? I mean, when I say crying, I mean crying. Where you sitting on the steps of your own fucking environment, your own house, wondering how y'all gonna get some cereal, some milk.
It's nothing like having to care for another human being. Like you
Hmm.
always think, "Oh, I don't need to eat. I don't need to do this." But that baby that other human being you have to care for, that needs you, that's a totally
Hmm.
different story. And when I just seeing this opening part, when I saw she had to share a bed with her daughter,
Hmm.
in an environment she didn't want her daughter to even be in, uh,
Exactly.
it broke my heart. It broke my heart. Well, I commend you for your strength and thank you for sharing your story. Because
The
it's
only
someone. Go ahead, go ahead.
the only thing I can tell young mothers, s- stay the process. My son is right here. Baby, did we make it? You hear my son?
Now you're gonna make me tear up with that. That is beautiful.
We made it, huh? We got our own home. We mortgaging our home and we're doing our thing. And it's just me.
Mm,
My
that's a
oldest son
testimony.
does pay some rent, but that's because I don't raise my kids to live off of women. And even though
Mm,
I'm your mother, you ain't gonna live off of me. You gonna have your own independence. So only thing I would tell these young mothers and mothers that may be going through it is it hurts. I'm sorry.
mm,
Sometimes it's hard. It's real hard when you're going through stuff. But you gotta stay the process. You gotta trust God. Trust Him. Get on your knees. Psalms 91, Psalms 23, Psalms 21. Pray these over your life. Look up scriptures for financial. That's what I did. I started praying these scriptures over me and I made it. And I'm making it. And pray a
Mm.
good village. You gotta have a good village. Because if you don't have a good village, it's just gonna be you. You gotta have a good village. I broke my toe. I gotta get surgery on my toe. His best friend mom said when he goes, he has a tournament out of state. I'm not gonna be able to attend. And she said if he needs anything, he can call us. That's a village.
Mm. And thank you for sharing your testimony. That means a lot. I know you helped somebody listening for sure. Um, because sometimes, like younger us,
Right.
or like your story, you probably didn't have anyone to lean on right away. So thank you so much.
No, my mother is a worker. All she do is work. She just work, 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 work. My
Hmm.
father, he works, work, 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 work. They don't know. They weren't raised to explain their emotions or their feelings. So you had to take it the hard way. You
Mm.
know, so I'm telling you, young ladies and young fathers out there, stay the process. Just stay with God. I'm telling you, if God did it for me, He's going to do it again for me and again. And He's going to do it for y'all. You just got to
Amen.
drop to your knees and you got to pray and you got to ask God to bring you out of this mess. And you got to hold God accountable because He is your father. I do it every day. But that's it. I want you to continue with your commentary. I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm blessing your your
Oh,
panel.
thank you
But
for coming and sharing. That was a blessing. Thanks for sharing your testimony. I'm glad it was a start to the day, to what we're talking
yeah,
about. Thank you so much.
you're welcome, honey. I'll be up in there.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
All right, babe.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, now that was powerful. Like to hear from someone that's been through it. And blessings, you have a lot of comments here. Miss Asia said, fortunately, I'm married, so I haven't had to struggle on my own, but I give my mom props all the time because I'm sure she had moments like this, but I never knew about the single mother struggle. Oh, yeah. And that's interesting. Now, choose. I might have to talk to you, and I'm not sure if, because you know what, choose. I know now choose is was she talks about her testimony. I thought about you in this movie, so I don't know if you want to watch it. And no, no, not single mother stuff, different stuff. We're gonna get to that. Gardis, hello. J Rock, hello. Keepus, Real Magnolia said everybody gets a turn, but everybody can't get a seat at the table. I know that feeling. Isn't that something where you try to climb and climb and climb? Like Blessing said, she was like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. How? When? Let me drop to my knees and pray. So let's talk about Straw. So Straw is a Tyler Perry movie. And you guys, I'm from Chicago. So we got to see Tyler Perry plays at the famous Regal Theater or the Airy Crown Theater. This was back in the day when you knew Tyler Perry was coming to town and you bought your tickets and you saw Diary of a Mad Black Woman in person. It was really an experience. And then after the show, you bought the DVD. Tyler Perry, to be as huge as he is phenomenal. Um, he brought back Taraji P. Henson, phenomenal actress. And this story is, he got a lot of more people. So let me just get into the story because I don't really do movie reviews, but I wanted to talk about this because this struck home. I'm a single mom. I had my son at the age of 16. And it was a struggle, a lot. Uh, he, it's a miracle that he is as amazing as he is. Um, 20 times better than I am. And I love him to death. That's my heart. So when I saw this movie, going into Straw, that's the title. So I'm like, what's Straw about? So we open up, Taraji is in the bed with her daughter Aria. So she's it's music playing. They playing Glorilla, Let It Cook. So someone next door is like pounding this music over and over, and they're trying to sleep. So that's why you see Aria here with the headphones on. So Taraji gets up at 6 a.m. because what do you do as parents? You have to get your kids ready for the day. Isn't it something having to get a little person ready before you? It's something else. So she has to get the baby ready for school. But we flash back to her the night before. The baby and her they had a late night. You know, the baby. You ever had a child get sick? You have to take them to the hospital in the middle of the night. So she took the baby to the hospital. So now we get up. She get up. I'm talking about us. She gets up and gets the baby ready for school. They're talking. She's bathing the baby. The baby is 8 at this time. Ari is her name. And she's like, well, Ma, I could take a bath by myself. And you have Taraji saying, no, because you have seizures. So Arya is really sick. So Taraji is in this small, cramped apartment with no air conditioning, barely have hot water, and the baby gets seizures. Okay. So they get ready to leave for the day, and they run into Sinbad, is what I'm gonna say, who is playing Benny, and Benny is the homeless man in the neighborhood. I want to commend Tyler Perry for always thinking about the people that are the unsung in our acting community, to just bring Sinbad back. If you didn't know, Sinbad had I think he had a series of strokes, not just one. I think he had more than one stroke. And to bring him in his acting debut and place him, just write this part and place him there and make sure he gets paid in this industry. And that's the film bird coming out to you. That's amazing to me. So I applaud Tyler Perry for that. So Janaya is Taraji P. Henson's name. So Janaya works at the local supermarket. Y'all, I have never seen a supermarket like this. The people are totally rude. They are screaming because it's the first of the month when she get in, and she can't even go clock in. They see her come in with her vest, and they're ready to attack her. Now, some things do be extra in the film, but y'all, I hate to say it, when people always say stuff like this don't happen, but I live in a neighborhood where stuff like that happen. So she had a customer trying to use her WIC card to pay for all her groceries, and she couldn't use the WIC for all her groceries. So her boyfriend gets mad at her and throws a bottle at her foot. Now, what I don't understand is why her boss, who was played, Aretha Franklin, should just be upset with you, Glenn Turman. Glenn Turman, one of my favorite actors from A Different World, Cooley High. Oh my God. So this is the first time I saw him in a role like this. He's like the boss from HE Double Hockey Sticks. He is absolutely horrific. Janaya comes in to just clock in, and he's telling her, don't walk, run. When somebody throw a bottle at her feet, she already got a line out the door, and he's telling her, stop what you're doing and go mop the floor. So Janaya goes to the back room to get the mop and stuff like that, and she gets a phone call, and it's her daughter's school, and they're like, you got to come up here because it's something going on. We need to talk to you. And remember, this whole thing started, I forgot to tell you this part, because Janaya Aria, Janaya's daughter, needed $40 for lunch. Now, this I didn't agree with. Blessings, let me know if you know this. Wait a minute, Gardis, get out the chat. Curtis talking about, you don't think people in the food for less act like that? Yeah, the food, I keep on saying, like, y'all, I wish I didn't have to tell y'all I live somewhere that act like that. They act like that here. So, Blessings, did you see? Okay, so hold on, guys. Let me. Oh, my phone. It just beeped. Let me just get my charger. Hold on, guys. Sorry. I should charge this before I start. Coming right back. I wasn't planning to do the video. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, so let me put my headphones back on. Okay, here I go. We're back. Okay, so the whole thing was Jania's baby and Blessings. Have you seen this with a teacher? Now, this part what got me. I don't know because I don't have younger kids, but the teacher told her she needed $40 to not eat the special lunch, and the kids are making fun of her because she's eating the special lunch. You guys remember the free lunch from school? Now, I had free lunch before, and we couldn't get the square pizza with the free lunch, so we had to get whatever it was. So you couldn't get the cool stuff like the nachos. You'd have to get the whatever the 4 food groups was, like a milk, an apple, maybe a sandwich. It wasn't a cool lunch. So Jania was like, when I get paid, I'm going to bring you the $40. So today was payday. So she's like, I'm gonna bring you the $40. Okay. That way nobody can make fun of you. Now at the same time, the landlord outside screaming for her rent. She said, okay, I get a break at 10. I'm gonna bring my rent. So she's planning this whole time to bring the lunch money to the school and to bring to pay for her rent. Now, when you find out how much the check was, I don't know. I'm just like, well, she was doing a lot for this amount. So she goes to the school, she runs up there, and that's the principal you see behind her. And I'm missing a part. In the beginning, she's dropping her baby off, and the principal is looking at her like with a stank attitude, like, what you doing here? You know, kind of that. So I didn't get that, but I thought because, and that's why it's so well written. I thought it was because Jania was poor. You know what I mean? We have the haves and have-nots where I live. Like if you don't have a certain shoe, you don't have that. They don't want you to be a part of the area. That's just the truth. So I'm thinking that she's being bougie and judging her. So she gets to the school. The principal is like she's trying to explain to the principal. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm skipping a part. So remember, she got to bring the $40 for lunch. So we got Glenn Thurman. So he's sitting up there like yelling at her because she said, it's my daughter's school. I have to leave. But on my way out, can I get my check? And he like, you want me to do you a favor? I ain't doing you crap. I mean, he cursing. I never heard this much cursing in Tyler Perry films until recently. So yeah, this is something else. He used to have no cursing. So he's like, I'm not doing nothing. She's like, please, can I get my check? And he's like, no. So she goes over to the bank. So when she gets to the bank, that Sherry Shepard is the branch manager. And she's trying to pull $40 from the ATM, but she can't. So the branch manager said, yeah, they're saying insufficient funds because if you go below a certain amount, they'll close your account. So Jania is like, well, just close my account because I need the $40 because my baby is getting teased in school. Y'all have to remember that part. The baby's getting teased in school for eating the special lunch. Okay? It was, you're not special lunch. They're making fun of the baby. Okay? So it's a line. So in the line, she couldn't wait because Glenn Thurman told her to be back in 30 minutes. So she rolled to the school. So she gets to the school. Guess what's happening, y'all? The principal looking at her and CPS is dragging her baby out the back door. And the baby like, I want to be with my mama. I want to be with my mama. And she's like, no. So I do get a lot of people relating this movie to John Q as well. I want to list a couple of other movies it made me think about. But she's like, my baby has seizures. She has asthma. She's sick. What about her medicine? And the CPS worker is like, don't worry about it. We'll take care of your baby. And she's like, no. Give me my baby. They took her baby. They're like, oh, the baby don't be clean. The baby come to school hungry. Now, that I did not understand because I saw Jania bathing Aria in the beginning. So it seems like she kept her, but she was like, she buys her, she can't eat everything. She buys her what she can. So maybe you guys ever had a kid and you be like, don't go to this place. You ever take your kid somewhere at somebody's house? Don't go in here. I used to tell my son all that. Don't go in here acting like you hungry. Don't go up in here acting like you hungry. You just ate. I'll buy you something to eat. Don't go in here acting like you hungry. That's what I thought possibly was happening, because, you know, when they see snacks or see something cool, they want something to eat, right? So I don't know what was happening with that, but she said, sometimes I don't have hot water. Now I can tell y'all, let me tell you, if you never lived any kind of way, you boil that water, okay? You put that cold water in the tub, then you boil that water, or you microwave that water, you put the hot water in there, and you call it a day, okay? You mix it on in there, just a little tip. So make sure you bathe. So she was explaining this and that and that and this. And they still took her baby. So now she has no child. The child didn't have her lunch, and she got to be back to work. So she's on the way back to work, and she runs into a racist cop. Now this just threw me for a loop. So she cut this car off, and it's a white guy. And when she cuts the car off, he decides he's gonna make her life hell. So he do a high-speed chase, ram into her car with like his new Camaro. It was crazy. And so I'm sorry I told you I was a cop already. So anyway, the police came. So she's like, yeah, this man ran me off the road. He ended up being a police. So he tells Janiyah, I'm gonna find a legal way to blow your head off. That's what he tells Janiyah if he ever see her again. So he tells the cop that pulled Janiyah over, write her a ticket and make her pay. So Janiyah doesn't have her license is suspended. And what did she say, Miss Asia? I get paid today. I'm gonna go ahead and get my license. This check was gonna stretch. You know, this check was gonna stretch. So they towed her car. So now she lost her baby. Her rent is due. The boss is a jerk. She's worried about her baby. And now her car is towed. So she has to walk. It's pouring down raining. So she has to walk back to work. She's 2 hours late. She go to get in her register. And here go your boy, Glenn Thurman. I say preach. Here go preach. He goes, no, I called somebody else in, and your ass is fired. So she like, I need my job. Just please don't fire me. I need my job. And he like, look at you soaking wet. Didn't ask, whatever. She like, I just need my job. He said, well, you know what happened when you get fired? The check is in the mail. Y'all, I scream. Did anybody scream at the TV? Oh my gosh. No, okay, so blessings, because that's what I was gonna get to next. So she like, I need my check, or me and my daughter are not gonna have anywhere to stay. So she goes home. Y'all, she gets home. The landlord then threw everything out. The baby medicine, everything. They threw everything. The landlord was like, you were supposed to be here at 10 o'clock. Now, this is me. Janiyah got up at 6 a.m. She got to work. I don't know why she had a break at 10, but okay. She got to work at whatever. She had dropped the baby at school, whatever. She got to work. She had a break at 10. She didn't get her check. She come home. All her stuff is on the curb. The baby's medicine, toys, all their bed, everything's on the curb. And she's like, yeah, I told you if you wasn't here by 10, you think I'm a fool, and threw her stuff on the curb. Y'all, and she just screamed in the air. She just was over it. This is like the last straw for her, right? And that's me saying that, but I guess that's where straw come from. So she packs up some things that she has. She packs up a science project they were working on. So it's like this little, it looks like it's little metal pieces glued together, like a little spaceship situation. And she packs up Aria medicine, and she's just over it, right? So now she's fired. She's evicted. She lost her baby. Y'all, all in one day. She's fired. She's evicted. She lost her baby. The racist cop, her car is towed. The racist cop then towed her car, and she has nothing. So she goes back to work, and she goes back to Glenn Thurman, and she says, "Hey, can I have my check?" And he in the back like, "I ain't giving. I told you your check is in the mail." And she's like, "The check is right there. Can you give me my check?" And he's like, "Get your butt out of my office." And some dude come in there. He's like, "Hey, do y'all sell Black and Miles, Janiyah?" He calls her by her name, but she has her name tag on, y'all. The whole time, the whole movie, she has her name tag on. So he looks at it and he says, "Hey, Janiyah, y'all sell Black and Miles?" And so Glenn Thurman is like, "You ain't supposed to be back here." He's just, man, like Glenn Thurman is the worst. He is the worst boss ever. Like if you have to call, what's that you call, like OSHA or somebody? He was too much. So the man, so it ends up being a robbery because they were in the back of the store. So it ends up being a robbery. So Janiyah is like, "Oh my God." Now, this is what I thought was the worst, Miss Asia, when we went back, because this is what I get. So Glenn Thurman is back in the back counting money, and he's counting money, and the man's like, "Give me all the money." So he got hundreds, trillions, so it's the first of the month. They had to go in the safe and get the rest of the money. So then they try to take Janiyah backpack. So remember, she got the backpack right here in her hand that it has the baby medicine, the baby science project. So she didn't want to give up that backpack. So she's fighting the criminals, the robbers, for the backpack. And so Glenn is like, "Give him the backpack." She's like, "I need it for my daughter. I need it for my daughter." And looking in hindsight, now I see what all that was about. So she struggles and gets the gun from the robber and shoots him. And it was two robbers, and the other one runs away. So she saves the day. But what do Glenn Thurman do? "Oh, it's your ass. You done set this up. You done set this up." I'm like, oh my gosh. So you going to jail. Let's see what kind of mother you gonna be in jail. He's just going off. And y'all, she turned around and killed him. Point blank, 2 shots to the chest. Now, it's all this money on the desk, but Janiyah just looks for what, y'all? Her check. So the check got blood on it. She got the gun in her hand, and she runs across the street to the bank. The bank is closed. Now, this part I didn't understand. This is why we're going to talk. We're going to talk Hollywood and continuity and things of that nature. The bank is closed. It's 4:00. So all this happened before. Well, I didn't even think about it. Nobody went and got the baby because the bank closed at 4. So that could have been another clue for us. But she went in. She got to the bank. And Sherry Shepherd tells the security guard, "Go ahead and let Janiyah in so she could cash her check." She gets up to the front, and she goes to cash her check, and it's like this teller like, "Oh, hey, your baby got slushy on your check." It's all blood on the check, y'all. So she's like, "You got slushy on the check?" And she's like, "No, whatever, cash my check." But Janiyah does not have an ID. So that's natural. They don't cash a check if you don't have an ID. So she said, maybe somebody else could do it, but I can't do it. So Janiyah pulls out her gun, the gun that she got from the robbery. Now, remind you guys, she got this clear book bag, and it has this science project in it, but it looks like a bomb. Because I told you it was like silver. It looked like a spaceship thing, but it looked like a bomb. It was flashing lights, all of that stuff. So now it becomes that Janiyah is robbing the bank, but really, she's not robbing the bank. She's just trying to cash her check. You know what I mean? So y'all, that goes on and on and on. Well, we got a whole scene where now they bring out the police, which enters Teyana Taylor. Now, I told you guys we're flipping into production when I'm talking about this. Teyana Taylor, beautiful person. I'm a huge fan of Teyana Taylor. I I think she was just too made up for this. I think it was just she's a beautiful person. I think just the way, like, she had fashion nails. She had like art stuff on her nails. They were so nice. And when you watch the movie back, just look at it. She had a feathered, layered wig, lace front, beat down, lip gloss. It was just a lot. I'm not saying she's supposed to look ugly or anything like that. And I try to always remember when I say this thing, Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order SVU, she always got a layered bob. So I always try to remember when I'm talking about Black films, remember how Mariska Hargitay always have a nice cheekbone, nice lip, but I just think it was just a lot. Maybe something a little more subtle, but still beat would have been nice. I don't know. She maybe it's just Tiana. She just modelly, right? She looks absolutely beautiful. She had on heels, waist snatch, everything. So anyway, I really liked her acting. I really liked her character. I loved everything about it. So they called a whole police squad in the bomb squad because they think what Taraji has in her book bag is a bomb. So you guys, this is going on, and Sherry Shepherd is in there acting well. I think Sherry Shepherd did a great role, so she's keeping everybody calm. I see what some people say, how sometimes in the movies that Tyler do, the men are always, I don't know. So you guys, I never say too much, and I could be biased because I really enjoy Tyler Perry, and I know a lot of people that work for him. But like a lot of the men in the film were all cowards, except for Sinbad, and I think that's what strengthens the film. Sinbad was not. So like the security guard left the women. He ran out the store. I mean, ran out the bank. One guy tried to fight her, and a gun went off. Then he ran out. So it's just a bunch of women, except for this one couple, and this man and his wife. He was a veteran. He said, "I'm leaving." So it was just a lot going on in the bank. So the women were in the bank, and that Sherry Shepherd, two tellers. One teller was just a mess, and you have Janiyah. Janiyah was just, she didn't understand why people were scared. She didn't understand why people were crying. Well, it's because they think that she has a bomb, and also she has a gun, right? So Sherry and Janiyah end up going into a office and having a talk. And Janiyah knows she's going into jail, but the only reason she's keeping everybody in the bank because they finally cashed her check, and it was only $521. So like I said, Janiyah was doing a lot. She's going to pay her rent. She's going to pay her baby the $40. And what else was she going to do, you guys? It was something else. Oh, get her license. It was a lot for $521. And I'm just thinking, the landlord put her out for that amount, just petty. So Janiyah is in the room with Sherry Shepherd in the bank, and she says, "Here's the $40. Can you give this to my daughter?" And Sherry kind of refuses, and she's like, "Please give it to my daughter because this man's not going to let me leave alive." And it's the racist cop that pulled her over. He's outside on the TV screen because they're watching what's happening outside. So it's a couple of movies like this. I always say John Q. It's another one with the man that was a veteran and they took his check. I love that movie. I can't think of it right now. A lot of them. So she goes to the room with Sherry Shepherd, and she basically asked Sherry Shepherd, "They're gonna lock me up." She sees a picture of Sherry living in the suburbs with her husband, her two kids. Why am I calling her Sherry Shepherd? I forgot. Her name is what, y'all? Nicole Parker. And people on TikTok are really digging into this. They're saying that Tyler made a dig at Monique because Sherry character is Nicole Parker. aka Nikki Parker from The Parkers. Breaking. Thank you. Thank you so much, Keefus. I love that movie, Breaking. And he had the same situation, right? He had to have his rent that day. So we always talk about that on this channel. Basic human needs, right? We need a roof, we need to be clean, we need to eat. You know, it's just something. So she sees Sherry and she says, "Hey Sherry." Keep on saying Sherry, but she has the bank on but you know, Sherry Shepherd. She says, "Can you take my baby because they're gonna take me to jail?" And she says, "Yes, I will." It was a touching moment. It was a touching moment because I was like, oh my gosh, for somebody to have that kind of empathy for her, that was beautiful. Now on the outside, you got Tiana Taylor and Rockman Dunbar, and they're all on the police force, and then the FBI come in, and once the FBI come in, they're gonna take over. They're gonna come in there with SWAT and all that stuff. So they're trying to prevent that because Taraji and Tiana have this connection. So they try to get rid of the police officer. So they find out who the police officer is that threatened Taraji that day. And because I watched this movie, I was wondering, was that imagined or was that true? Now, on the outside, a crowd comes to say, "Free Janiyah." They're coming out there and they're giving their testimonials and saying, "We're tired of this mess. We're tired of struggling. We're tired of not being seen. The best quote I saw from this movie was, "It's expensive to be poor." Isn't that the truth? It's expensive to be poor. And people are sick of not being seen. So they get rid of the cop. And I mean, I am skipping over some stuff, you guys, but just want to give you a little bit. But they get over the cop. Taraji the whole time and say, "I just want to give my baby her $40 for school." They get rid of the cop. Taraji phone is off, y'all. Because who phone? I mean, she couldn't pay her rent. She didn't have money for a license, so of course her phone off. So the FBI had the power to turn on her phone. They turn on her phone and it's her mama. And she told Sherry, or AKA Nicole Parker, she told her, she said, "Hey, I don't want my baby to go with my sister or my mother because they're crazy. You know, I don't want my baby to be raised around that." So that's when, of course, Sherry said, "Yeah, you can, you know, I'll talk to my husband, but we'll take your daughter." So the phone rings. So the phone rings. It's her mama. Now, this is right before they're about to walk out the door to surrender because they got rid of the man. The whole thing was she wanted to cash her check and no one would listen to her. She just wanted to cash her check, right? So the phone rings. It's her mom. The mom is like, "You got the FBI at my house." And I immediately hated the mother. But I wanted to say it was great casting. The mother really looked like Janiyah. So she's like, "The FBI is at my house. Why are you robbing that bank?" And she's like, "I'm not robbing the bank. I just wanted to get Aria, her $40 for school so they would not tease her." The mama, again, not seeing, not hearing. That's the first thing I thought. She's yelling and cutting off Janiyah. And she's like, "Janiyah." And she's like, "What?" And she was like, "Aria died." Y'all, when she said that the baby died last night, I got chills right now. That was great writing because this whole time, when we saw her go to the school, carrying the baby, eating with the baby, fixing, they had lunch the night before. Dinner the night before. That was all in her head. All of that was in her head. Her getting up, getting the baby ready for school, dropping the baby off to school which is why the principal was looking at her crazy. The baby had died the night before. So Janiyah got up that next day. So like when she said, "Oh, it's my daughter's school calling," it was bill collectors calling. So she got up the next day and her mind couldn't cope that her daughter had died, and she made it just another regular day. And you guys, the story needed to be told. I know it wasn't perfect for a lot of people that's watching the cinematic point of it. They said Taraji filmed in 4 days. I think they did the whole movie in 10, or was it 10 or 8? But she filmed her parts in 4. It was little things because I watch a lot of movies. So, and being in that industry, I look at continuity, a little things that were off, that didn't make sense. But this story about mental health, it needed to be told. It needed to be told that the mind could do something like that. I mean, she got up like it was, they told her daughter died, and she got up. I'm going to get my daughter ready for school. I'm going to get my daughter a bath. I'm going to drop her off. I'm going to go to work. I got to bring her to $40. And they played that part. Y'all, it was crazy. Reminded me of, I think he took a lot from a lot of movies. John Q, The Sixth Sense is one. Steel Magnolias. It's a lot of things that I think were combined here. The John Boyega film Breaking. It was a lot of things combined here, but to show that this woman wasn't seen, heard, and maybe it is because I'm a woman, maybe it is because I've struggled before, that I can relate, that you almost could be there, to see that her mind just flipped and said, I'm going to carry on like that. I'm not going to accept this. Losing someone could do that to you. I hope it's a part 2 as well. So, Sherry Shepherd says, I know, when she tells her, my daughter died. Sherry Shepherd says, I know. They told me earlier. That broke my heart too, because it was just, she knew that this lady had a mental breakdown. She was on her last straw, and she wasn't trying to hurt anybody, which is why she didn't take the money from the robbery. She didn't take the money from the bank. She just wanted to be heard, and it was a lot. It was a lot. Now, it was like little things that happened, but I think that we could give Tyler a little grace for being able to keep Hollywood going, keep these actors working. I'm sure he hears the critiques and maybe he can go back. I thought it was a beautiful story. I thought it was something that needed to be told. I thought it helped a lot of people. And maybe could get people who are going through something to get help. Her mind just broke, and she didn't even realize that her daughter was gone this whole day, just the night before. What I want to say, Tyler Perry, the employment of our Black actors and our crew is very important. So sometimes when we beat up on a film, he doesn't care. He makes number one. But you have to realize that sometimes he leans on his crew. I heard working on his sets are very hard. Everything's almost one take. He leans on his crew. So I've been there where I've designed for a film and I've watched the replay and be like, oh, that button isn't right, or that name tag isn't there, or hey, that plant was on the left and now the plant is on the right, or the purse was on the left and now the purse is on the right. And it's a rush, it's a rush to film. I know he has a lot of more money than most, but he leans on his crew. So I think we could be a little more gentle and look at the story. Just look at the story. It still made number one on Netflix. It's still getting a lot of acclaim. But I do find that sometimes it's us that get, you know, kind of more critical, we have to remember where Tyler Perry came from, just the story. And if we don't have a Tyler Perry here, we won't have a lot of our actors being shown. What's that other show he has on Netflix where he brought Terry J. Vaughn back? Remember Terry J. Vaughn from Steve Harvey show? He brought her back. And it's so many other actors you haven't seen. The mother from Family Matters. We have to remember that. You know what I mean? That's all I want to say. And maybe I'm biased because I have seen that I'm somebody that works behind the camera from time to time. But yeah, it's not a lot of times that we get opportunities. And Tyler is bringing those opportunities and bringing people back. Now, it's some things I just couldn't watch. Like I said, that Deliver, I watched it. It was a good story, but I thought it was he didn't do, what was the name? Deliver Us from Eve, you said? What was the name of that movie? And that comes into your editing. Beauty and the Black, I could not watch. What's the other thing? Let's see. It's on Netflix too. Divorce in the Black was okay. Excuse me. Acrimony. I didn't watch Maycopa. I did support it because a lot of people I knew got to work on that in Chicago. So that was let me share that with y'all. Let's see. Let's share this. Okay. Let's look at some. She the People. That's it. She the People. I don't know. I wonder because he writes everything. I wonder if it's what it is. I don't know. Beauty in the Black, I really didn't watch. It was a little too much for me. Let me know. I don't watch 6888 was good. I didn't watch Zatima. Why Did I Get Married? I think was one of the best films ever. That he's done. Medea's Destination Wedding. When is that coming out? 2020. Did that come out already, y'all? Let me know. Divorce in the Black was okay because I think I root for the actors more than I root for the film sometimes. So I was happy to see Corey Hardrick in something. Meet the Browns was really good with Angela Bassett. It was really, really good. Acrimony, it was a good story. It was a good story, but it does. I know what you guys say about like Black woman's trauma. I get it. But a lot of people, that's how he built his brand. But She the People, I want to see that. He got Terry J. Vaughn back. I'm excited about that. I didn't watch The Family That Prays is my favorite Tyler Perry movie ever. A Fall from Grace. That's the movie. A Fall from Grace. Such a good, shocking ending. But it was I think he filmed that in 3 days. And I think that was a problem. Temptation, that was a play. Temptations, Tyler Perry, that was a play. It was really, really good. I'm a Journey Smollett fan. Bruh, I'm gonna support him because a lot of people from Chicago work on Bruh. The Jasmine Blues, it was pretty good. But I do get the trauma part. I'm not taking it away. Choose Compassion. I really am not. I think it's okay. What Kiva says. I think 2 things can be true. Perry hires Black actors, and we can hold them accountable to improve at movie development, including hiring a writing team. Now, Kivas, I want to say this. I do think he has to hire more. He can't do it all. Maybe even more different directors of DPs. He wants to write, direct. I think he's used to it. And I think that's the issue. Nobody could do it better than me, but maybe train someone to. under you. You don't have an understudy, someone that could and go from there. But I agree. I agree. And like I said, you have to lean on your crew. But I heard, I don't know if this is true, that sometimes being on set, it's like a lot. It's only 12-hour days, but it's you better get in one take. You have a call time. So like hair, you got 20 minutes to get out there. That's the issue. So it has to be maybe a pre-prep. I don't know. Maybe a measurement of the wigs and have it pre-prep. I don't know. Chu said, I don't like he be the only sane man in the whole movie. Yeah, you know, I have a friend. I have a friend, and he told me every time somebody dark skinned, they gonna be the villain. I said, stop it. He told me, I said, stop it, stop it. I didn't see Duplicity. I didn't see Beauty in the Black. So I'm with Keith's. I think two things can be true. I think this movie for Taraji acting outshined everything. When I tell you I was traumatized in the first 15 minutes, yes, it's probably because, some of those things I've been through. So I was like, girl, nah. Yeah, so you guys, I love when he have series. I think that's pretty cool. And like I said, the 888 when he does. So I wonder what's the difference. Does he say it's going to be a dramedy? It's going to be a drama. It's going to be a comedy. It's going to be straight up horror. How does he get to it? So that is something I would like to know. I'm glad y'all stuck with me for this conversation because I wanted to talk about it because I saw so many people talk about it, and support them that cover the movie because I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening over here? It's one young lady I follow. She's a librarian. Let me see if I can find out. I love her channel. Oh, hit the like button, you guys. We had a good conversation. I didn't even say anything. We had such a good conversation. But I think sometimes Tyler and who's the other one? Oprah does the same thing where you're like, okay, here we go. You know what I mean? I can see it. I can't find her. I can't find her page. I wanted to find her page. But I really love her page because she has a book club as too. Oh, here it is. Her real review. Listen, okay. I love her content. Her real reviews. She just tells it like it is, and it's kind of funny. And she also has, like I said, a book club, and she also reviews like the actors too. So I love her real review. She's good. But yeah, that's that's it, you guys. And just my opinion, he had me cracking up because he said y'all about to bash me in these comments, and I'm with Keith's. Both can be true. Both can be true. Like we can hold a little bit more accountable. And I know that crew be stressed out because the reviews that his shows get, you blame that department head. So when someone's saying, it was this one TikTok. Let me see if I got it, y'all. Somebody was saying that Sherry Shepherd. They had a body double for Sherry Shepherd. Let me see if I have it. Hold on, guys.
As a non-spoiler review, but listen, I'm going to then go in. And so the first 3 minutes of this video, you can watch it and then go watch the movie. But if you've watched the movie and you want to know my true nitty-gritty thoughts, I'm going to go in. I promise you this. But basically, the tagline for this movie is you never know what someone is going through. This is a movie about a single mother who navigates a series of unfortunate events, leading her down an unforeseen path where she becomes embroiled in a situation she never envisioned, finding herself at the center of suspicion in an indifferent world. That is what is up on Google, okay? The movie is about Taraji P. Henson, who's playing a single mom who is having the worst day of her life and ends up accidentally being a suspect in an armed robbery. And so it's kind of...
I can't find it, y'all. I was trying to find and shout out to her real review. I love her channel. I wanted to find where they showed her body double. Now that was funny because TikTok is a mess. If you want to find something, go to TikTok. TikTok was a mess over there. You know what? Choose. You guys, thanks for sticking with me. I'll be back with another video. Did y'all hear? Side note off the thing. Did you hear that Young Jock ex-girlfriend Kadia passed away? Did y'all hear about that from Love and Hip Hop? What happened? I was like, wow. Did y'all hear about that? And she was only 44. So my prayers are over there. That is something else. Like, y'all, let's stay prayed up, stay together, check on your loved ones, get your help, get your annual physical exam, you guys, get that blood drawn, get that, that weight and all that cholesterol done. Do that. I don't know what happened. But yeah, she passed away. KD. That was really sad. I used to love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Young Jock got to work with him before, and he really liked Kadia. This was very something else. This was something else. And you don't hear about, y'all got to go to, look, Choose got me on TikTok. I'm over on TikTok learning all this stuff. So we'll talk about that later. More Dalton news, unfortunately, because today, y'all, I saw some wild stuff. And I got to tell you about it. But as always, hey, like she said, you never know what somebody's going through. And I think that was the biggest message from this meeting. Y'all take care of yourself and each other. Bye. And wait, did I say meeting? Movie. Too much Dalton. Bye, y'all.
Commentary blue. Commentary. Burgundy. Commentary. Comment blue. Commentary. Comment burgundy blue.